Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard my favorite stock for 2025. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to blow you away because it is the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life. Just one stock. Now, if that hits you wrong, you've been lied to, folks. Now, let's go ahead and get airborne. Make sure you silence all your electronic nicotine, no distractions, because I guarantee you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. Now, if you've ever watched the movie Star Wars, I'll date myself. I grew up as a kid watching Star Wars. I have some kids that are Star Wars nerds. You're familiar with the Death Star, right? This giant space station that was the size of a moon that literally was taking over the universe. I think it got blown up and attacked a couple times, but it came back bigger and stronger. That's the stock that we're going to cover today. I call this stock the Death Star because it's literally taking over everything that it touches, either destroys it or absorb it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Top Gun options. My name's Matthew Buckley. My call sign's Wiz, former Navy F-18 fighter pilot, as you're going to learn in a couple minutes, but I'm going to start with a multiple choice quiz, right? Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly in combat? Now, when you think about it, trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. You want to win, right? So which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? Let's take a look at this one first. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the cockpit of the F-4 Phantom. Over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. The pilot would spend a lot of what we call heads down time looking at all this stuff instead of eyeballs out of the cockpit, looking for AAA, anti-aircraft artillery, or enemy aircraft, or SAMs, surface-to-air missiles, right? This jet was so labor-intensive, they actually put another dude in the back seat just to run the radar. So a very labor-intensive aircraft. So that's your first choice, and there's your second choice. 2 flat panel displays, 2 iPads. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the cockpit of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, the Lightning II. Folks, this jet is invisible to radar. We call it the Wonder Woman jet, right? The sensors, the stealth technology, the capabilities of this aircraft are absolutely insane. That's the aircraft you'd want to fly in cockpit. Speaking of Star Wars and Darth Vader, all the images are projected right there on the pilot's visor. When they look down, they don't see the cockpit. They see through the cockpit to the ground. All the threats are displayed up in the field of view of the pilot. So clearly, if you're going into combat, you want to be flying just the F-35. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. My promise, by the end of this brief, I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief. I'm going to show you the only stock, you heard me, that you need to own, not just for 2025, the rest of your life, and a good substitute to trade if that doesn't sit well with you, okay? How's the smart money doing? Check this out, folks. The average hedge fund, look at this. In 2023, I'm still getting the 24 numbers, 9% return. Look at my return for 2024. 151%. That's my personal brokerage account there, folks. The S&P about 20, NASDAQ 38, the Dow a measly 10%. I destroyed the so-called smart money, and you can too. That's why you should listen to me, man. Blew the indices and most professional money managers away. I embarrassed them. As I said, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign's Wiz. Flew the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for 15 years. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, most of you know as Top Gun, where I was a bad guy, an adversary pilot. And I deployed over southern Iraq for Operation Southern Watch. Also got mobilized for Operations Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. What's this have to do with trading? Absolutely everything. When I was on active duty, most guys sat in the ready room, talking about sports or whatever. Well, I did that too, but I was always interested in finance. I'm like, I'm not going to retire rich. You don't join the Navy to get rich, right? You join the Navy to fly fighter jets and see the world and go take out bad guys. So I was always interested in finance, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to invest. I'm going to learn how to trade. So I taught myself how to trade stocks and options, and that's really where I figured out that trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to get their ass kicked. So I started applying everything I was learning as a fighter pilot to my trading, having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning, right? Knowing when to get out of a bad or good situation before it got worse. Managing risk. Okay, this guy's showing me a picture of him inverted over the skies of Top Gun, and he's going to talk to me about managing risk. Yeah, I am. Fighter pilots and options traders are some of the most risk-averse people on the planet. We want to minimize all known risks. Flying off the pointy end of an aircraft carrier is dangerous enough. You want to minimize all the known risks so you can win. So, always interested in finance and taught myself how to trade, and it worked extremely well. I eventually popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility options trading firms headquartered right there. You see those big, beautiful vertical windows in the Chicago Board of Trade. That was our trading firm. I helped build a retail brokerage called Options House. Some of you might have traded with Options House back in the day. I helped build a hedge fund and just had an absolute blast. I was the managing director of strategy for this multi-billion-dollar trading firm. And also in my spare time, I started the Options News Network. We were essentially the CNBC for options. I'd shoot on the floor of the CBOE and the CBOT and give you all, retail traders, a behind-the-scenes look at what was going on in the options market. You know, I jokingly tell people I felt like Eddie Murphy in the movie Trading Places. You know, I was Valentine. You know, two white rich people making a bet on whether I'd succeed or not. And I did. Now, let's go ahead and get airborne. It is time to talk trading. Now, this is going to shock some of you, or maybe it's not. You ready for this? Wall Street's lying to you. Now, I know half of you just rolled your eyes and said, duh, I'm sure they are. And the other half probably said, what are they lying about? How many of you have heard this? Well, I know every one of you have heard this since day one of investing, right? You ready? You can't put all your eggs into one basket. You cannot do that. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? You have to, say it with me, diversify. Diversification is important. You must diversify. The 5 steps to frothing at the mouth, telling you you have to diversify. Who's telling you you have to diversify? That dude. And he's lying to you. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see the movie The Wolf of Wall Street or Wall Street or Boiler Room, they want you in and out of as many names as humanly possible. It's an industry practice, technically illegal, called churn. Didn't you see the movies? All right, boys, open up the phone books. Get the little old ladies in tennis shoes out of that stock. We got them in yesterday and into this one. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's called commissions. They want you in as many names as physically possible, right? Churn, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever you hear the word broker, whether it's stock, yacht, real estate, insert the word commission. That's how they make their money. They want you in and out of as many names as possible. And let me, before I go to my quote here, I'm going to give you my take on this quote. Diversification is for stupid people. I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an options trader. My communication is clear and direct. And if that kind of makes, well, that was rude, let me get a nice old man to clean that up a little bit. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. That's a lot of fluffy words for diversification is for stupid people. Ladies and gentlemen, the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life is Amazon. It is diversified in and of itself, right? I'm a poor kid from South Jersey, South Philadelphia. I like pictures. And yeah, a recent hedge fund chief investment officer said, real wealth is not generated by diversification. It's built through concentration. Amazon is concentrated. Look at that picture. Look at this. This is what we call a hockey stick, ladies and gentlemen. This is net revenue in billions. Does anybody see a trend with Amazon? They are literally printing money every year. Take a look at this. Annual revenue by segment. Back in 2012, Andy Jassy, the current CEO, and Jeff Bezos, obviously the founder, came up with AWS, Amazon Web Services. Right now, AWS is essentially Microsoft, ladies and gentlemen. So look at this. This is also a hockey stick. North America, international growth. And then Amazon Web Services is its own behemoth, right? How about cloud? When you hear the word cloud, what do you think? Oh, well, Microsoft, big cloud, or Apple, the cloud, or Google. And you'd be wrong. The number one owner of share in the cloud infrastructure services market is Amazon, and it's growing. So these others are the bronze and silver medalists down below them, folks. Amazon owns the cloud. Now, I'm going to get political for about 2 minutes. Democrats hate this chart. Why? Well, first of all, delete the word Amazon on the top left of the chart. If you showed me this chart when I first started trading, now I'm really going to date myself, 34 years ago as an ensign in 1991 in the Navy, I'd look at this chart and go, okay, sales. Oh my God, look at the sales. They print money. Then I'd look down there at free cash flow and I'd go, okay, well, they make a lot of money. And then down at the bottom, I'd look at that and go, oh my God, they barely make a profit. I'd get bearish on this company. It sucks. And I'd be broke. I'd be an idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, why do Democrats hate this chart? I don't care what your political persuasion is. Guess what? Jeff Bezos is brilliant. Jeff Bezos doesn't even know what the word dividend means, right? He's like, how stupid. If I make money, if Amazon makes $1 this quarter, I'm going to take said dollar and do something with it. I'm going to buy a competitor. I'm going to put a competitor out of business. I'm going to buy another airplane, make another movie, buy pharmacies. So they barely show any profit. They make a bigger Death Star with the money they make. That's why some Democrats are like, we need like an Amazon law to specifically target those type of people. Okay. But if you didn't know what you were doing, you'd look at this chart and go, Amazon barely makes any money. I'd get bearish on them and you'd be dumb and you'd be broke. Now, when you think AI and super chips and supercomputers, what do you think? NVIDIA. And you'd be wrong. Look at this headline. This is last month. Amazon announces supercomputer. New server powered by what? Homegrown AI chips. I guarantee you, Andy Jassy and Jeff Bezos look at their monthly financials and go, how much are we spending on chips? Well, this much, sir. Why don't we do that on our own? Why don't we make our own super fast chips? And for half the price that NVIDIA charges us. Done. You want to be in AI? You want to be in chips? You buy Amazon. Real quick, JG, with a small account trading Wiz's Amazon trades, netted $8,900 in a week. Kristen, you guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account and have done 22 Amazon trades this year for a $31,000 profit. Christine, month-to-date profits on Amazon, $107,000 with more to go. Thanks, Wiz, for all your expertise and guidance, doing day trades with short calls to protect my Amazon profits, learning from the best. Kristen, or no, I'm sorry, Ann. Ann made me look like an idiot in November, like I was brand new. Ann, in 3 days, I made $90,000 on short calls against my 30 contracts utilizing Wiz's guidance. Now, before I sit here and blow sunshine and lollipops all over the place, I got to brief you on the threats. I'm a fighter pilot and I'm an options trader. What are the risks to just trading a solo stock, just one stock? Anybody ever hear of a small mom and pop company, Lehman Brothers? A 150-year-old company gone in a weekend. How about Bear Stearns? Jim Cramer, right? Jim Cramer remembers Bear Stearns. Your money's safe at Bear Stearns. $70, it's a steal. I'd put my money here. A couple days later, it was at zero, right? During the financial crisis. Good call, Jim. How about Pets.com? How about Enron? Folks, I could waste a lot of time going through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to, say it with me, zero. But what's the difference? What's the common thread when stocks go to zero? You ready for this? They don't own a thing. Looks like Lehman Brothers didn't even own the sign on their building. Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns owned paper. They were trading firm counterparties. Pets.com owned a stinky sock puppet and a URL. Enron didn't even own the building they were in Houston. They were a middleman of electricity. I don't even know what that means. So, can Amazon go to zero? Physically, no. Possibly, of course, anything is possible under God's guidance. Amazon owns things. When you own things, technically your stock can't go to zero because I did consulting years ago south of Miami International Airport at an Amazon fulfillment center. I've been on an aircraft carrier flight deck, folks. I thought that was huge and chaotic. That is tame compared to an Amazon fulfillment center. The thing was the size of an aircraft carrier, drones and droids and humans running around. It was mass chaos. So they own things. Full disclosure, I flew for FedEx for about 10 months. When I got out of the Navy, I was miserable. I hated it, and I left. Why? I can't show up to work to fly at midnight and land at 8 in the morning and try to sleep during the day. I bring this up because years ago, like 10 years ago, a buddy of mine who I stayed friends with, FedEx captain, went to the corporate side, put on a suit, became a turncoat. He called me one day and he said, "Wiz, who's Jeff Bezos?" I'm like, "He owns Amazon." Why? He's like, "Well, that's weird. I heard from my buddy at GE Aircraft Leasing that Jeff Bezos just leased 5 jets." And I said, "Well, he's going to do it." And my buddy said, "What's he going to do?" I said, "He's going to put you out of business." And my buddy laughed and hung up on me, right? Guess who called him about a year ago and laughed and hung up on him? Me. Look at these headlines and look at the dates. Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers in its latest move to compete with FedEx and UPS. Look at the date, September 7th, 2021. Look at this headline. Amazon is poised to pass UPS and FedEx to become the largest delivery service by early 2022. Look at that date, November 29th, 2 months later. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this headline from a year ago. When I called him, the biggest delivery business in the U.S. is no longer UPS or FedEx. Amazon is eclipsing both carriers and the gap is growing. So folks, not only do they own fulfillment centers, they own their own FedEx and UPS. FedEx actually went to Amazon recently and begged for mercy. "Hey, can we work together before you put us out of business?" No. And I remember Fred Smith, right? The Marine that started FedEx. He got like a C+ on his, Harvard business dissertation. The instructor laughed at it, like, delivering packages in 24 hours. What a dumb concept. You stupid Marine, here's a C+. 24 hours? What's Amazon do? You want a toothbrush? Why are you going to go to CVS or Walgreens? You can order it from your phone and it'll be there when? Within an hour. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. And we already talked about AI, man. It's absolutely insane. Now, years ago, I saw Jeff Bezos bought Amazon Pharma. I think he bought the URL like 5 years ago. And I told my members, pound CVS and Walgreens into the dirt. They will go out of business. Amazon will destroy them. What's happened? New Amazon clinics are in 50 states. CVS lays off 5,000 employees. Walgreens plans major store closure. 8,600 stores. Walgreens stock tests the lowest levels in decades. CVS board conducts strategic review to do what? Break up the company. A CVS breakup is no easy fix for his problems. Whoa, why is this guy on here? Well, he just got reelected, but I'm going to talk about the first time he was president. First year of his presidency, Donald Trump woke up one day, or didn't go to bed, depends on who you believe, grabbed his cell phone and said, "Jeff Bezos, Amazon, monopoly. Somebody should break up Amazon. It's a big monopoly." What happened? The stock went down that day. Holy crap. The president of the United States is tweeting that we need to be broken up. Wow, that's awful. Then what happened? Nothing. The stock went up. Never looked back until year 4 of his presidency, which he didn't know was going to be the last year of his presidency. Year 4 of his presidency, after Jeff Bezos had bought the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos, Washington Post, awful, horrible, and Amazon, somebody should do something. You know what happened to the stock that day? It went up. So I'm briefing risks right now. There are political risks, right? The FTC or the DOJ is going after Google right now, right? There are antitrust concerns when you're Amazon. You're the biggest thing out there. But I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, that it's too late. I'm old enough to remember like reading about Standard Oil or AT&T, Microsoft, IBM. The average time from when Uncle Sam goes, "You know what, you might be a monopoly," to it actually trying to break you up can be anywhere from 5 to 10, on the longest, 15 years. Last time I checked, depending on Tesla or Amazon stock price, Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world. He probably has 1 or 2 attorneys on his staff and would fight this forever. But again, it's too late. Amazon is like Mercury. What do I mean? If you smashed it up, you're going to create 12 little monopolies. I just told you Amazon Air is bigger than FedEx and UPS. Amazon Prime makes Netflix look quaint. Amazon Pharma is destroyed Rite Aid's Chapter 11. It's Detroit. Folks, I would buy, if they broke Amazon up, I'd buy each one of the individual companies. But it's too late. Can it happen? Sure. Will it? No. This was interesting. Like in 2023, remember when people were just like walking into Lululemon and stealing stuff and walking out? And of course, the employees like videoed it, and Lululemon fired who? The employees. So James Wood had this tweet. He's like, just so everybody understands the game here, Lululemon and those other national brands don't care about theft because the crap is virtually worthless, and they would rather sell it online. No fuss, no muss, no employees. When you see the stores locking everything up behind the glass and forcing customers to select from a kiosk, it's a way to avoid minimum wage, blah, blah, blah. There's some political stuff. Go to the bottom. First sentence. Invest in Amazon, folks. Pretty soon, it'll be the only marketplace left. Folks, I'm bipolar and so am I. I'll tell you how I feel as Wiz. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. I don't think he pays his employees enough. He's a weather vane. When Trump ran for president the first time, he's like, I put Trump in one of my Blue Origin rockets and blast him into space. Trump wins this time. He went to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the guy's ring. I can't stand people without scruples and who are weather vanes. And then I'm going to put on my $10,000 Armani and go, who cares what you think, Wiz? I'm here to make money, right? If you, like he told Bud Fox in the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. So I'm here to print money with Amazon, and we have been. Now, what are the benefits? I already briefed the risk. What are the benefits to trading just a single stock? You trade the same name, and you're potentially going to profit no matter what direction Amazon goes up, down, or sideways. Right? You stay focused on the news and events that impact what? Amazon, instead of a bunch of different stocks and ETFs. You become an expert in Amazon, reducing time spent on other positions. Let me tell you a quick story. When I moved down here to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton, Florida, from Chicago, a doctor became friends with a doctor. He's like, oh, I hear you trade. Can you help me? Sure, man. I'm glad he's a doctor, right? Because I met him at Starbucks. He booted up his laptop and showed me his brokerage account. You ready for this? 33 positions. I think I passed out and hit my head. So I'm glad he was a doctor. When I came to, I'm like, Doc, what the hell is this? 33 positions. He's like, yeah, I need help. I have office hours and surgery. I'm like, dude, are you insane? 33 positions. I'm like, what is this crap? He goes, he tried. He looked, he's like, well, this stock, I think this one's a pot stock. I'm like, did you just say you think? He's like, all right, well, forget that one then. This one's a surgical stock, and, a buddy got me into it, and it's down 50%, and, I'll get out of it when it gets back up to where I bought it. I'm like, Doc, yeah, you're a doc. Yeah, that means you're relatively intelligent. Yeah, why? Dude, do the math, man. What has to happen to a stock that's down 50% to get up? So I said, stop. I don't even want to hear the rest of this bullshit. Get rid of all of this and trade Amazon. Period. That's all you need, and the guys never look back. Now, if this doesn't sit well with you because that broker bit you in the neck with the diversification vampire and you're stuck, here's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, before I tell you that, this cracked me up. This is Jim Cramer's investment club. Here's a rapid fire update on all 33 stocks, including 2 new positions. Is this a joke? 33 positions in, quote, the investment club. Folks, a room full of monkeys throwing darts at the Wall Street Journal can pick. It's embarrassing. If you're paying for something like this, you're a fool. But anyway, so if you, Wiz, I'm sorry, man. I love your pitch. I have to diversify. It was beaten into me. Guess what we're going to do? There's Amazon on that left display. What's on the right display? XLY. If you need some diversification, baby, I got you. The XLY, we also trade in our solo Amazon service. Why? Because just like shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce, the XLY is a vehicle for eating Amazon. About 25%-ish of the XLY is Amazon. But look at the rest of the names. Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Lowe's, TJX, Booking, Starbucks, Nike, Chipotle. So here is not only diversification, but you get a healthy dose of Amazon. So how do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? When you join our service, and I'll give you the link here in a couple minutes, your first brief, you're going to become a Marine. You're going to establish a beachhead. You're going to storm the beaches and establish what we call a base position. We're going to hop in our time machine, in our F-35, and go the speed of light out a couple years into the future on the options chain. We can get long-term bullish all the way out to, you ready for this? June of 2027 with Amazon options. So I'm going to teach you a tactic called synthetic stock that also has a protective put. I never flew in the Hornet without an ejection seat. We ain't doing any trading without what? Protection. Now, after we have our long-term bullish base position, what are we going to do? We're going to trade the front months. What are the front months, Wiz? You're sitting in a front month, January, February, March, right? So there's two trades right there. A long-term bullish trade on Amazon and then a short-term whatever trade. If Amazon's going up in the front month, we'll trade some bullish spreads or buy some calls. Amazon's going down in the front months. Who cares? We're long-term bullish, but we can be short-term bearish. We'll make money down, do some bearish spreads or buy some puts. Or we can make money, say it with me, sideways in a tactic, for example, called an iron condor. Ladies and gentlemen, our solo Amazon service here at Top Gun Options is awesome. This is a good gateway drug for you to learn how to trade options and focus on just one name. Our solo Amazon service, it's our newest live service here at Top Gun Options. It's only $970 a year, or you can do it monthly. Month to month, it's only $97. I don't drink anymore. I was healed by psychedelic assisted therapy. That's its own separate story. And I started a foundation called the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. Why do I bring this up? Because old Wiz would say, hey, $97 is a bad bottle of wine. So I don't say that anymore. But if you do an annual membership, I'll tell you what, I'll hook you up with 2 months for free. If you want to kind of flight test it for a couple months, just do the $97 a month. It's $97 a month for the rest of your life. There's no surprise. Month 2, it goes up to $8 billion a month. $97 a month for the rest of your life, which is kind of dumb when you can do an annual and save money. So that's why we have an annual option or the monthly. But you want to make sure I'm not a complete idiot? Try it out for a couple months at $97 a month. It's topgunoptions.com/solo-Amazon. Or you can go to our homepage and just click up at the top. It says trade groups. In the drop down, just click Solo Amazon. This was our 2020. I just posted this, our 2024 returns in the solo Amazon service, just trading one name, folks, over $136,000. 126 grand in Amazon, and then just about 10 in XLY. I focus in Amazon, okay? Parmar made 200 grand in Amazon on 20 call contracts. Kevin, Amazon synthetic stock, late to enter, but I'm up 200%. Paid 8 grand, now 24. Diane, up 70 with 1 contract. Scott, hey Wiz, up 20 grand in September, October calls this week. I have never been there. Patience, persistence, thanks TGO. Wiz, update on my Amazon synthetic call for June expiration. It's no longer up 100 grand on 1 contract. It's now up 127 grand. My. Every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern is when we do our solo Amazon brief. Hey, Wiz, I work every Monday at 10 a.m. Don't worry about it. 80% of Top Gun Options members work. We send out time-sensitive alerts on our app. We have an app, and you get an instant alert. In the middle of a brief, when I'm getting ready to place a trade, I stop and I put that trade in our alert, and you get it immediately. So you can be sitting in death by meeting Monday morning, and bing, there's an alert from Wiz. I can open my E-Trade and place that trade. And oh, by the way, I post the replay of the live trade brief. It takes about, 20, 30 minutes for it to render on my computer, and then I upload it to the member page. Look at what Chris had to say. I'm so geeked. I think that's a good thing. I've been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you via the replays, okay? Today, I'm going to hook you up, folks. I'm going to give you access to the primary, intermediate, and advanced workbooks. These are your flight manuals. If you went to my homepage and wanted to buy these, they're $197. So let me help the political science majors that are watching right now. Okay, wait a minute. It's $97 a month. He's giving me manuals that cost $197. I just made $100. Cha-ching. You're welcome. So these are yours to keep. I don't care if you do 1 month and say this guy's an idiot. Those are yours. So you technically made $100 if you just join for a month. That's what my marketing team says. An irresistible offer. I'm like, sounds like we're losing money, but that's okay. So here's what you get today. Access to our solo Amazon brief every Monday at 10 a.m., the app and the email. And I also send email alerts too, because some people are, apps scare me. Well, okay, I'll send you an email alert too. The 3 skill-based manuals, and you get access to your own thread on that app. It's called the Amazon Trade Alert thread. Wiz, I got a question Thursday night at 8 as you're sitting on the couch watching the Panthers. Ask me. I get an alert that says, hey, somebody just asked you a question in the solo Amazon thread, and I'll answer it. Okay? I'm not going to do any more case studies. We're having a blast here at Top Gun Options in our solo Amazon service. If you want to test fly it for a month, it's $97. TopGunOptions.com/solo-Amazon, or click at the top of TopGunOptions.com and it says trade groups. On the drop down, the first drop down says solo Amazon. Now I feel like the Flex Seal tape guy, but wait, there's more. Obviously, when you go to check out of an Amazon purchase, what do they say? Hey, people also bought this. You have got to do this. Take the Options Weapons School training. It's only $297, folks. There are other places that charge like $5,000 for this type of training, and their training sucks. It's like a dude in front of a whiteboard on a VHS tape. You get access to our industry-leading Options Weapons School. 6 sessions, about an hour, hour and a half each. Wiz, I don't even know what the hell an option is. Welcome aboard. That's in session 2. Session 1 up there, here's where I gather my intelligence. Here's investing basics about the market. Here's my 7-step proprietary trade plan. Then we're going to get into the basics of options. And we take what we call a building block approach. I didn't show up at Navy Flight School in Pensacola, the world's greatest fighter pilot. I mean, I was born that way. But no, we took a building block approach. Please, I'm begging you for you to take the Options Weapons School training, okay? I'll read this one. Speaking of flight school in Pensacola, this guy's call sign is Utah. Mark Provo. He was a Blue Angel FedEx captain. He was on a layover in Fort Lauderdale. Wiz, I always see your ads on LinkedIn or stuff. Please teach me how to trade. The guy didn't even know what the stock market was. He just had his airline 401k or retirement program. He sent me this text after I taught him. First month. Good morning. Less than 20 days. I'm up $15,000 on a $40,000 account. And I wrote, well, shit, bro, if you can do it, anyone can do it. Well done. Most people would kill for a 38% return in a year, let alone 20 trading days. Okay? No more testimonials. It's our newest live trade brief, folks. All my other briefs are about $167 a month, but since we're only trading Amazon in this one, it can be a little less expensive. So it's $970 a year or $97 a month. Okay? If you didn't learn anything today, I clearly failed. But do yourself, not me, a favor. After you get done this video, look at your brokerage account, man. Am I talking to you? Do you have 33 positions? Folks, I do this for a living, and I have about 5 positions on right now. At that trading firm in Chicago, our research analyst, a junior analyst only had 1 name they had to know. A senior analyst had 3, at most 5. Do you know how many times I got up and went over to the research desk and said, did you see the news in XYZ? Yeah. Aren't you supposed to know that stuff? So folks, unless you're literally chained to your desk 24/7, how are you trading more than 5 positions? You can't. Simplify your life and your trading cockpit with our solo Amazon service. Otherwise, you might be doing that. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged in this volatile market. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. Wiz out.